As the lion progressively made its way closer, with each step shaking the earth beneath its feet, an unforeseen intervention occurred. In the face of imminent danger, a man emerged from the shadows of the nearby trees. He was tall and seemed frail with age, but there was a spark of determination in his eyes. As he stepped forward, the lion halted its intrusive progress, recognizing the old man from an adjacent village, who was also the custodian of the lion. The man stood his ground, preventing the creature from advancing further, his eyes never leaving the lion's. His courage was admirable, stepping in to protect a stranger from the lion's uncertain intentions. He gently guided Jamiu, who was still in shock and nursing the bruises from his fall, away from the lion and into his humble abode. As he was a man of few words, he explained succinctly to Jamiu about the lion's history. The lion was a bequeathment from his grandfather when it was a cub, a heritage he has been nurturing with utmost care and love. Under normal circumstances, the lion was as harmless as a domesticated pet. However, the lion's recent behavior was likely due to misinterpreting Jamiu's predicament, perhaps interpreting his struggles as a cry for help. Intrigued, the elderly man couldn't help but inquire about Jamiu's mission. His curiosity piqued when Jamiu began to explain about the political turbulence in Ilulamo. The village's king had gone missing, leaving a void that had been filled by hostile bandits. The people of Ilulamo were living in fear, and Jamiu was on a quest to find the usurped king and bring him back. When Jamiu described the king's appearance, the old man could hardly believe his ears. He had recently encountered a man fitting the king's description, who had sought refuge in his abode. He had tended to the man's injuries without realizing his royal lineage. Regrettably, he couldn't provide any helpful information about the king's current whereabouts. The king had left with an intention to return to his village without disclosing his regal status, a decision the old man now regretted, not probing further about. After expressing his gratitude to the old man, Jamiu bid him a hasty goodbye, resolute in his mission and his responsibility towards his village. He left the old man's abode. He ventured further into the dense forest, making his way to the next village in his pursuit of the missing king. It was then, in the midst of the daunting forest, that Jamiu spotted a shadowy figure. Overcome with a rush of emotions, upon moving closer, a wave of relief washed over him. He recognized the tired, gaunt figure as the king. Jamiu sprinted towards him, his eyes welling up with tears of joy and relief. He held the king in his arms, apologizing profusely for betraying his trust by revealing the king's secret to his wife. The king, despite his physical exhaustion, was tranquil in his demeanor, assuring Jamiu that all of this had been prophesied and his actions were not a surprise. The king then made a shocking revelation. He refused to return to Ilulamo with Jamiu, fearing for his life from the bandits who had taken over his kingdom. Jamiu was stunned and tried to reason with the king, insisting that the king's warriors and loyal servants could stand against the bandits. But the king was adamant. He maintained that it wasn't the right time for his return and gave Jamiu an even more daunting task: to announce to the village about his impending death. Jamiu was apprehensive, and the king sensed his fear. To ensure his safety, the king gave him a protective charm bracelet and instructed him to keep it hidden until he reached the village. It was a gift, a token of trust and assurance that would protect Jamiu in the face of danger. Jamiu returned to the village with a heavy heart, carrying the weight of the king's message. He entered the village as a changed man, ready to face the adversity that awaited him. To be continued.